First, thank you for inviting me to come and speak. And I heard the word hipster come from Catalina, and if you took one look at me, you realize I'm not a hipster. What I am is that for the last 23 years, I've made my livelihood, my living, by exploiting my hobby and my obsession, which is an obsession with old music of the world. Starting with old folk music of America, blues and old-time country music, fiddle band records, and then I started to develop an interest in Cajun music from southwest Louisiana, and then Ukrainian and Polish music that was recorded in America. About 9 years ago, I went to Constantinople, and while on the Asian side of the city, I discovered a small stack of old 78 discs, and I should have brought one with you. I mean, I think everybody here is familiar with MP3s, right? Okay, well, this is the opposite of an MP3. This is a heavy one-sided or two-sided disc that contains 2 songs on either side, and they were the main way of preserving music from the turn of the early 20th century until the 1950s. So that's the music with which I'm in love. And when I was in Constantinople, I found a small stack of discs written in Greek, but I couldn't quite understand what a skaros was, or a mirloi. And so I bought them, and then a couple weeks later when I came back to the US, I washed them, and then I listened to them, and then I fell deeply in love with the music. And so the book that I wrote earlier last year, Lament from Ypres, is that story of I guess, falling in love and falling in with sort of a profound appreciation of the music of northwestern Greece, trying to tell the story and to give the cultural context. And so certain people have said that I'm in the process of saving Greek music or saving demotica, and that's just not true. I'm in love with it, but I'm more of an evangelist or a storyteller outside of Greece. I mean, there's the only people who are in the process of preserving and loving and saving demotica is everybody in this classroom, the Greek people. I have nothing to do with that. I'm telling the story outside of Greece. I'm a weird American that tries to explain to the rest of the world how this music affects me. "You should dance the Samantakas," said Evikita. When Jim and Dimitris left me to my own devices in the village square, Evie decided to take me under her wing and teach me some of the dance steps. I regarded Evie, with her dark flowing hair, all-embracing smile, and perfect English, as a friend. Knowing that 3 bottles of Tsiparo and 5 minutes of dance lessons would likely not result in a mastery of the Samantakas, I still wanted to get within the dance. In this song, all the unseen forces of operatic music come into play. With this piece, perhaps more than any other, motifs and embellishments such as downward glissando, ostinato, and the weaving of various macchini and rhythms are in full bloom. And then they want to play into me, and I want to be played into. Most Westerners are distanced from live music by a stage, a row of seats or a phalanx of bodyguards. Being played into is therefore an alien concept. At least to those who play acoustic instruments, we have a semblance, a point of reference to the phenomenon. For instance, when playing an upright bass, it's easy to feel the vibrations pulsating from the wooden chamber through the thick neck. But being played into is different from physically channeling the sounds of the upright bass. Here's what happens. The skilled clarinetist, in this case Thomas Hayamis, has been watching every dancer in the circle as they pass, particularly me, the lead dancer during the song. Then his eyes meet mine. He's reading me. What results is some sort of reciprocal loop, an exchange between his instrument and my psyche. Tomas departs the circle of musicians and moves towards me with his clarinet hovering close to my head, like a snake descending on its prey. A woman next to me has wrapped a cotton towel around my arm, and then around her hand. I'm now bound to her. The clarinet is at my ear, the bell at the end, almost touching me. There was a sonic barrier between what the musicians were playing and the amplified sounds heard by everybody else. I've passed through this threshold. When Tomas plays into my ear, there's no mediation, only tone. I will say, obviously, there's been changes. I mean, and I'm speaking strictly about the music of Epirus. There have been changes, and one of the other changes is the sort of lack of direct involvement with the Roma, sort of a dropping off of the traditional musicianship. Although, once again, certain musicians like Tomas Halianis, Kapsalis, those guys, they still continue to play and to influence others. But I mean, it's a horrible thing to say, but I'm terribly nostalgic for the past. So when I hear a musician like, say, Kitsos Harisiadis, who only recorded for 3 years, although he played into the 60s, but his recorded legacy only spans 3 years, that to me still moves me more in the technical sense, in the sense of how the music was created than what's being played now. But that doesn't preclude the fact that I can still be moved by the music or healed by it, and that other people can. So there is a gradual change of musicianship. But I think there's also a steady continuity to it all, and that's sort of the strange balance that has to be maintained. Thank you.